Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz here from Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, I got two topics. The first one, Derek Carr. Is he not going to get traded? I know what I discussed on my video earlier today, but some new information has come out from Vic Tafur in regards to Derek Carr and his agent. So we're going to hit on that. And then let's just say there is a world where DC doesn't get dealt. What next? I got the top 5 most likely teams that are going to sign Derek in free agency. So let's talk about the latest going on here around, as it stands right now, the Raiders quarterback. It's DC. The report that came out this morning from Albert Breer was that the trade market has not materialized outside of conceptual conversations. The Raiders have until February 15th to make a deal for DC, and the reason is because 3 days after the Super Bowl, his contract becomes guaranteed. What does that mean? The Raiders are on the hook for another $40.4 million. Las Vegas, since they benched DC right before their Week 17 matchup, they don't want Carr to be the quarterback anymore, so you got to try to get what you can. I'll also go in depth about the new report out from Vic Tafur that said Derek might even move up the deadline to February 8th, which then gives you about a week. Then not making it very easy to get a deal done. So if you missed my show earlier today, I showed you Albert Breer's quote on Derek Carr, which really got a lot of the trade rumors rolling here today. My understanding as of right now is the Raiders have not granted Carr's camp the ability to seek a trade. And even though there are aforementioned teams out there with needs, dealing him before the February 15th deadline, when his $32.9 million base for next year and $7.5 million of his 2024 money vests as fully guaranteed, won't be easy, and he absolutely won't be on the Raiders roster past that date. So there is the idea that teams are interested in him, should just wait for Las Vegas to cut him. So with that being said, I did investigate a little bit more. Teams aren't even allowed, like Derek's not even allowed to look for a trade partner until after the conference championship. That's according to the CBA rule. Now the trade rumors are going to get rolling again, and I do want people that come across this video, think of the Raiders Report as a channel for Raider Nation, made by Raider Nation, die-hard fans only. If you like talking about your team, then hit your subscribe button right now. Turn on those notifications because we're going to have free videos every single day. Let's now look at a quote here from Vic Tafur, and when I do these shows here, I try to give you guys some outside information, and I'm going to give my 2 cents on it because I think that's how you get the most information possible as being a host. So this is what Tafur had to say on why the Raiders haven't given Carr permission in terms of seeking a trade. The Raiders might be concerned that Tim Younger, Carr's agent, would be working out a free agent deal with the new team rather than helping with trade terms. But Younger can do that on February 16th, well ahead of the other quarterbacks in the league hitting the free agent market. Younger would need to talk to the new team about Carr's contract, either restructuring the current one or carving out a new one, either way. Now, this was also what Vic Tafur had to say on Carr's agent. Younger has not given the Raiders a list of teams that he would be open to a trade to, the sources said, for the simple reason that it's wide open. Several teams have still not hired a coach or offensive coordinator. Now, what I want to do here is go full screen real quick and give my whole idea on everything that was said there. I have said multiple times that if you were Derek Carr and you're Carr's agent, there could be a scenario where you just start working out deals for a free agency and not really worry about a trade. I also illustrated that in a video that I released 2 weeks ago that maybe it's a big-time risk for the Raiders to trade away DC because their agent could try to pull one over the Raiders. All I know is this. Doesn't look like the Raiders are 100% trustworthy of Carr's agent, but I can also understand Carr's agent not being very trustworthy of the Raiders either. So this is what Vic Tafur had to say in regards to all of these reports, and this is why this is important. Carr would want time to talk to his potential new head coach and coordinator before a deal is consummated. I mean, right now, teams are just starting now to hire people. You basically got a week. We know whenever Derek goes, he wants to go to a place that has some good team, good defense, but he wants a stable head coach, and he wants a stable offensive coordinator. He wants to make sure whatever team he picks, that's going to be the right fit for him. So you basically got a week right now. He could decide to set his own earlier deadline of February 8th and cut off trade talks if nothing is worked out by then. So we've been sitting here for a long time saying February 15th, February 15th. That's in Carr's contract. But if DC says, hey, man, February 8th, I'm not going to even talk to y'all after that, the Raiders are in a really tough decision or a spot because of that no trade clause. The Raiders cannot approve a trade. If Carr's agent is not giving them any trade destinations, the Raiders are going to be in a really interesting spot here. So with all those reports coming out, I will admit, this morning I was a lot more confident that a trade would go down. After seeing some of that, the likelihood of Carr getting cut does go up at least a little bit. I am still in the camp that a trade ends up getting done. This is one of those toy or ploys that I think agents sometimes pull to, start stoking a little bit more of trade conversation. So coming up here, we're going to look at some Carr destinations if DC is released. So before I give you my top 5, and I was nice enough, I even sprinkled in some honorable mentions, where's Carr going to be playing football in 2023? There will be interest by multiple teams out there, especially if he hits the open market. So let me know, looking at your crystal balls, tell me where Carr's going to play in 2023. Let's go to number 5 here on my list. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am still a believer that Tom Brady leaves Tampa Bay, even though Rob Gronkowski did say most recently that he thinks that Brady is more likely to go back to Tampa than the Raiders. But if Tampa's an open book and they need a quarterback, that team's got a good defense. They don't have an OC right now, but they do at least have a head coach. At number 4, it's the Washington Commanders. Yeah, they're probably still the worst team in that division, even if DC is the quarterback, but they do have some good young pieces. That team definitely needs a QB to compete in the NFC East. At number 3, this team that I've started to bump up here a little bit, it's the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers just hired a brand new head coach in Frank Reich. Frank Reich, when he was with Indianapolis, seemed that he didn't mind bringing in veteran quarterbacks. 5 straight years, Indy had a vet QB. They have good pieces. They're in a weak division. If Carr wants to win, Carolina's a sneaky team in free agency. At number 2, it's the New York Jets. Let's face it, the Jets, they need a franchise quarterback. I don't know if Carr is a franchise quarterback anymore, but I do know at pick number 13 in the draft, the Jets aren't going to be able to go up, and they have a good defense. They have good overall offensive skill position players. If DC can go there and beat top 15, they're a playoff caliber football team. And coming in here at number 1, it's the New Orleans Saints. I will continue to say that the Saints are the most likely team to bring DC because of his connection with Dennis Allen. He already kind of knows what he's got with Allen. So if you go back to that quote with Vic Tafur and it's illustrating, hey, he wants to know who the head coach is, he wants to know who the OC is. Well, he already knows who Dennis Allen is because that's the coach that drafted Carr back in 2014. In terms of some other honorable mentions, the Indianapolis Colts still got to be up there. Houston, Green Bay Packers if the whole situation with Rodgers goes down. The Atlanta Falcons have a lot of money. And then I'm going to say the Tennessee Titans. Those are some other teams to at least keep an eye on and making a deal for DC if he becomes a free agent. Before I leave you all today, remember, you better follow me on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date on everything going on around the Raiders. And I'm also going to be doing a live show on Locals, so hit me up over on Locals. I'm going to do another live show later in the week. This one's definitely for diehard Raider fans. If you bleed silver and black, I got you covered. Raiders Report on YouTube and on social media. Check it out.